Hey guys, what's up? It's Samantha, and I am finally sitting down to do a voiceover for a plan with me. I have tried to do this voiceover so many times, and I feel like there's so much to talk about that I keep going down rabbit holes and tangents, and then I realize I didn't cover half of what I needed to, or I skipped over something important, whatever. So I'm gonna try to do this again, try to get through it. We'll see how it works. Trying to let go of the perfectionism and just embracing the hot mess that I am. So I really quickly, before I get into where I've been and what's been going on for me over the last, 6 months or so since I've really posted a video on this channel, in terms of where I think like filming plan with me's and stuff is going. Obviously, you can tell this is a Christmas spread. So I decided that I did want to finish out my 2020 memory keeping spreads because I only had a few left. And you will notice there is a week gap between the last plan with me I posted and this one. I did film the spread between those two, but I botched the footage, and there are a few bits of this footage that are a little like out of focus or the lighting is wonky. We did move, and I have a new filming space and a new filming setup. I had to get different lights and a different camera mount, and there's still like a learning curve. The last two places I've lived, I've had the same umbrella lights and the same camera mount, and I've just gotten used to having the camera in a certain position over my desk and things like that are almost muscle memory at this point. And because I had to get a new mount, I have to like plan in a slightly different area of my desk because of where the camera mount is and all of that kind of fun stuff. So you'll see there's times where I accidentally am out of screen, or like the light is reflecting off something a weird way. Still working out all of the kinks, but I think I'm getting there. This one was a lot better. The footage was a lot better than the first one I tried to film. So, yeah, I am hoping to finish my 2020 spreads. That way I can kind of have a complete year. And I'm not crazy. I'm not going to try to go and back plan all of 2021. I would just be setting myself up for failure. I am going to just pick up filming plan with me's whatever week I get done with catching up on the 2020 spreads that I have left, which at this point is basically just December. This is the week of Thanksgiving from 2020, so I just have the weeks of December, and I think I might do like the December, January, like New Year's split week and have that be my final week. Normally that would have been like my first spread of a new planner, but the kit is specifically like a 2020 spread, like F2020 art that Alita did, who actually did the art for this kit too, but this art is way older. So I really wanted to use that kit and do that spread, and then I think I will like cap it there, if that makes sense. So then I'm just going to pick up with whatever week was the previous week. So it'll probably be a week in September or something, which honestly is fine with me because fall spreads and Halloween spreads and then Christmas spreads are my favorite spreads every single year. So I'd rather just jump into the spreads that I love doing instead of trying to crank through a ton of spreads and like burning myself out trying to get caught up when that's like silly. Like I'm the only person putting the pressure on myself to like quote unquote get caught up. I'm just going to jump in where I am. And ideally I would like to get back to where I was like all the other years of Plan With Me's, where I'm basically doing one a week, have like a new video up every Monday or Tuesday, figure out a day, be consistent, have it up at the same time every week. That is, in my ideal world, what I would love to do again. I really miss having a new video up every week and kind of having the routine of sitting down to film a Plan With Me like at the same time every single week, if that makes sense. So that is that's my plan. Those are my goals. I did not intend to take such a long break. I kind of figured we would move, and I was thinking I would start filming Plan With Me's, for July. I actually pulled all the stickers for the rest of the spreads through 2020 right after we moved, and then I just didn't film them. I'd sort of set myself like I had given myself the expectation that because I didn't have a job lined up here, that once I got unpacked, I was going to have so much time, like all this free time, and, you know, like, well, there's nothing else to do. I ended up being a lot busier than I thought I was going to be. And then also just coming off of the last like year and a half, and then everything that happened, especially in the last 6 months, how busy I was, I needed some time to like mentally recuperate and kind of recover creatively. I just felt very uninspired and very, like even the idea of editing a video seemed overwhelming. So I gave myself a break. I'm feeling like back to my old self again and ready to, like, I'm excited about filming videos again instead of feeling like overwhelmed or scared or stressed out about it. It sounds fun, so it feels right to like get back to it now, if that makes sense. But yeah, so we moved, obviously I've mentioned that, and right now we are currently in an apartment because we are going to be building a house. We knew we were going to be moving. We were in like the Akron, Cleveland area, and we knew we were going to be moving to the Columbus area. My husband was finishing up his medical residency, and he had signed a contract to work at a practice in Columbus. And so we knew we would be moving here this summer, but that meant we needed to get our house ready to sell. And then we had to go through the process of selling the house, which is a lot of work. You have a lot of people coming in and out of your house. And we were selling our house in one of the most insane markets ever. If you are unfamiliar, the housing market has been absolutely bonkers for a variety of reasons, but there was a huge housing shortage, still is. I don't think it's quite as bad as it was this spring, but I think it depends on your market. There's also been like lumber issues and supply chain issues with new build stuff, making new build way more competitive. Like to sign a contract to build a house is very different than it used to be in the before times, which was a surprise to Joe and I. My parents have built several houses over the years, like when they've moved a bunch for my dad's job, and usually there's not like a bidding process to like build a house. So it was just a very stressful experience. But like I said, we knew we were going to be moving. So a lot of this year at the beginning was getting our house ready to sell. I don't think I realized quite how competitive the housing market was in terms of selling. Like that wouldn't be the issue, but we put a lot of like time into fixing every little detail in our house. The kind of things like caulking baseboards, like recaulking where stuff had started to separate. We updated all of the fixtures in our house. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw the saga of us changing all of like the sink fixtures and stuff. And I touched up paint, and I painted my basement stairs and did all kinds of like projects that I'd been putting off, and made the house look absolutely perfect for selling it, which was great. We had a ton of interest in our house. We were basically the only ready to move in house in our area that was on the market, and we sold really, really quickly. We got tons and tons of offers. I mean, I think everyone's basically selling right away, even if you're what I've been referring to as a potato house. So even if you're a potato house, you're selling quickly. But we listed our house, I think at the end of March, and we had tons and tons and tons of offers, which was crazy. I mean, being a seller and a buyer in this market is crazy. I'd say being a seller was like fun crazy, and being a buyer was like, I want to pull my hair out crazy. But we got tons of offers. Our first buyers actually fell through, but it was fine because we had gotten even more offers after we had accepted their offer. So we were able to accept another offer that was actually for a little bit more money, which again, wild. So it ended up working out better for us that the first buyers backed out, but it was still stressful because we were like, oh, are we going to have to like list our house again? Or, you know, are these offers still, you know, are they still interested? That sort of thing. But they were still interested. They still wanted the house. They were super excited. And the people who bought our house were absolutely lovely and so much nicer to work with than the first buyers. So it was great. But, you know, like that was still stressful because we did like all the inspection stuff and all of that. Like we got up to that point with the first buyers and like did all this stuff, and they like wanted someone to come out and like look at something, and it was just getting like crazy. So we had to do all that stuff again with the next people. And we had to like repair. It was like under a warranty, so like we didn't have to pay for it, but we still had to have like someone come in and like repair a thing like in our basement before they would close. So there's like lots of workmen in and out of our house for a really long time, which again, if you've been around here for a while, you know, like I already don't like people in my space and I don't like people touching my stuff. So, especially with everything else going on in the world, having lots of people coming in and out of the house, touching all the stuff it was a lot. And you know, we did all that, and then I worked up until the first week in June, and then I quit my job because we like needed to pack everything up. And also in the middle of all of this, my brother-in-law got married, and it was a destination wedding, so we were going to be gone for like 5 days in the week between when I quit my job and when we moved. And we also had to like make all of the design decisions for our house that week. So there was just a lot going on in June. So I think in my mind, I was like, oh, I'm like quitting my job like a few weeks early. So I'm going to have time to relax and like time to pack. And it'll be like, I'll have so much time. It'll be very chill and very relaxed. It was not chill. It was not relaxed. I packed pretty much everything. My mom came and helped me with some kitchen stuff one day, which was really nice of her. I was completely overwhelmed, and it was just a lot. Being gone for like 5 days in the middle of all of that was also really hard because we basically came back from the wedding and had like 4 days before we moved. My husband graduated from his residency and we moved the next day. It was just very, very chaotic. And so I think in my mind, I had been like, oh, well, as soon as we move and as soon as we're unpacked, I'm gonna be able to film and be so creative and do all these ideas that I've had that I haven't been able to do because I have been, you know, working so much, and like I had all my health issues with like lupus and how sick I was for so long. I'm like, I'll finally have the time and energy and space to like do all these things. And we like got through the move, which was a disaster, and like nothing went according to plan. And we finally get settled and unpacked, and I basically just crashed for almost 2 months, like the rest of June and July and like into the beginning of August. And it really took me until like a week into August to start to feel like myself again. I just didn't have the mental energy for anything. Like I don't think I was like depressed. I think I was very burnt out. I think a lot of people who have had to work with the public through the last year and a half have experienced this. It's something that I've seen a lot of people talk about. My job, other than when I was furloughed in the spring of 2020, and for a brief period at the like beginning of summer of 2020 where we were closed to the public, my library was open to the public the entire time, like through all the really high case numbers and stuff in the winter. Other libraries in our area were closed to the public. Lots of people at my library got sick, and like lots of branches kept closing and opening and closing and opening. Just didn't feel a lot of support from admin, and like, I'm not trying to like badmouth anyone, but it was just a very stressful situation. And I don't think I recognized how burnt out I was until I left. And like, I was finally able to relax after all of this was over and like the move was over and like we were settled, and all of a sudden it's like I could relax, but like my body had to like recover from the last year and a half. I think that's something I've seen a lot of people talk about, and it's hard to talk about because you don't want to like badmouth a job. And like, I loved my coworkers, but the public is just really hard to work with. And I think that's like something that's pretty common is after you work at a job for a few years, I think there's some people who find jobs and they stay there for like, 20 or 30 years. but a lot of times people are at a job for a few years and they kind of are like ready to move on to something new. I was already at the place where I was thinking about like where I wanted my career to go and like what areas I wanted to go, like maybe do something different in library world. And I think everything that happened compounded like the areas where I wasn't a good fit with my job, like were compounded by and like made more apparent and more stressful, and like the burnout was accelerated because of everything that's been going on over the last year and a half. So yeah, honestly, I was thrilled to leave my job, and I think I was so excited to leave that I thought I would just be able to like immediately jump into like super creative, like go, making all this stuff. And I needed to like honor my body and mind's need for rest and recovery and recuperation and healing and all of that kind of stuff. But I'm really excited. I feel like that's like, I wasn't really excited to like pick up my planner or to like talk to you guys or to share stuff. Like I just sort of was like, I felt so ambivalent about everything for like a while, and within like the last month, like I've been really excited to like play in my planner again. I've really enjoyed taking pictures for Instagram. I have just really been having fun doing that kind of stuff. I've been back to like my insane levels of reading, like my voracious levels of reading again, which is really nice because I basically didn't read anything in June other than when we were on like the trip for my brother-in-law's wedding. I read stuff like on the plane and like while we were there, like waiting between events and stuff. But I basically didn't read for almost 2 months, which is very unlike me. And yeah, I'm feeling more like myself. I'm feeling more energetic. I am feeling ready to like try new things, to do new things, to put energy into things. Like I have energy to give now. I feel like I needed to like recharge, get that energy back, and now like batteries topped up and I'm ready to like put things back out into the world again, which is a really nice feeling. And I really appreciate if you're watching this video that you stuck around for so long, because it's been, I don't know, like 6 months basically since I've posted a video. I really appreciate that you stuck around and that you are willing to come back and watch this video when I basically disappeared with no explanation for quite some time. And I just appreciate you guys sticking around. I've been doing this now for over 6 years. I missed my anniversary, but I believe I uploaded my first plan with me the first week of August in 2015. So thank you for everyone that's stuck around and been watching me for all this time. It means the world to me, and I'm really looking forward to being able to share my planning with you guys again and have this be a part of my weekly routine again, because I'm really missing it and I really love being part of this community and sharing this stuff with you. So thank you again so much for watching, for sticking around. You have no idea how much it means to me, and I'm looking forward to being more present in this space and getting to talk to you guys more often. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you in my next one, which will not be in 6 months. It'll be in a few days. Bye, guys.